Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. And some of you may be wondering why I do my videos later in the morning and I'm not driving. It's because a few days out of the week, I come in at 6 a.m., which means I'm on the road between 5:30 and 6. So it's still dark out. Jericho, put on your overhead light like you used to do. New vehicle, overhead lights in front of me instead of behind me, shines in my face. And when you're doing 60 plus, you might want to be able to see. But for the rest of the week, I come in at 7, so shouldn't be a problem with the sunlight. Now, a name you haven't heard in a while, and this is not the way she wanted to come back into the limelight, if you want to call it that. And by limelight, I mean people online who want to expose this shit because the mainstream mediocres are not talking about it. And you know good and damn well if there was an R in front of her name and she was white, she wasn't a woman of color, a POC, whose district is a POS, that's all these fools would be talking about. And you know they would find some way to link them to who? Trump. So I'm talking about the double Somali agent, Ilhan Omar. This organization called Project Veritas. I've heard mixed things about them. I'm not saying I support them or what. I'm just talking about this particular piece of information, this piece that they did. So they released footage of all this crazy ass voter fraud in her district. And there's undercover footage or audio. You hear this. To be honest, actually, I'm not even sure if it's undercover because there's other clips where people are just talking about it in the open. But basically, it's pay to play. If you got the money and you're paying, you will win Minnesota politics. You will get elected, and they go around taking them from people, making people fill them out certain ways. There's a lady who talks about how they go to nursing homes or in senior living facilities and just take their ballots from them, damn near strong arming these people out of their ballots, and they fill them out however they've been paid to fill them out. Guys are working damn near 24/7, going around picking up these ballots to shape the outcome of the election depending on who's paying. And all the people involved that I can see are Somali because they call her district Little Mogadishu because that's where they send all the Somali immigrants who we allow to come here. So it's like they brought the corruption from Somalia with them because as poor as Somalia is, that kind of situation usually reeks of corruption. But you don't hear about this shit. You don't hear about this going on because she's one of them. It does not benefit them to expose this. But if they were the news that they used to be, and they used to be actual reporters, they would expose it all and leave us to decide how we feel about it. Leave us to decide how these people are handled. But they don't. They take out the middleman, which is us, and they shape the opinion for us according to who they work for, who's paying them. No surprise. Do you think she'll get voted out? Hell no. They're not voting her out, not unless the fucking imam says so. Despite the corruption, they will re-elect her as many times as they need to carry out their mission. I say mission because that is number one. That is the number one place in America for terrorist recruitment. Way to pay us back for opening our doors. Now, this shit is ridiculous. This is par for the course. And you know what? In the presidential debates, I don't think we're going to see a switch like we did with Biden's pervertus. He was a more sane, less senile Joe at the beginning of the debate. I don't think we're going to see a change with Kamala because that's just who she is. And who she is whoever you tell her to be. So, case in point, she did a Zoom call or whatever with this idiot named Angela Rye. I cannot stand that dumbass piece of racist garbage. But you will see her all over CNN espousing her fucking racism. But because she has the right tone to her skin, she's allowed to run rampant and act like a fucking spoiled child. Anyway, So she's interviewing her and she's doing this rapid fire question thing. And she's asking her, ooh, what do you cook? You know, all these softball fucking questions. What's your favorite dish? Where do you like to go? Your favorite pair of shoes? And she asks her, who is the best rapper alive? Not who's the best rapper ever. Who is the best rapper alive? Currently drawing breath from our ecosystem. And this fucking idiot, like, you would think she learned not to go to the Tupac well ever again. Don't mention Tupac again. Last time that was a nightmare. You said you would smoke weed in college and listen to Tupac, who was not making rap music in 1986. So, she didn't get that memo. She asked her who's the best rapper alive. She said, I'm gonna have to say, Tupac. Now, I'll put the video in the description box. She says it starts around the 4-minute and 45-second mark because the video was like over 30 minutes. But at 4:45, that's when she starts the infamous question, who is the best rapper alive? And this fucking dummy says Tupac. Now, in case you don't know about Tupac, he was shot and killed in 1996. I remember coming home from school, turning on the radio, and listening to them talk about how Tupac died. 1996. That was a long time ago. He's no longer alive. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical examiner. But I'm going to go ahead and say, if you get shot and die in 1996, you're not alive in 2020. But again, wherever she's at, whatever platform she's on, she's a political chameleon and she's terrible at it, but she switches to fit the mold that she's in at the time. And since she's being interviewed by this young black starlet, she figures she better get hip and talk about some rap. You could have picked anybody else. And then right after she asked the question, she says, I keep doing that. Look, if somebody asks me who's the best guitarist alive and I say Jimi Hendrix, you got me that time. You got me. The next time somebody asks me something about that question, who's the best guitarist alive, guess what I'm not going to say? I'm not going to say fucking Jimi Hendrix because I already got burned on that one. She didn't get it because she don't give a fuck. She doesn't know. And then she later she asked her, as a black, no, was it before? I think it was, in the beginning of the interview. The very beginning of the interview, she asked her, as a black woman, how do you feel about the non-charges against the officers involved in the Breonna Taylor case? As a black woman, I feel it's like a gut punch. You could probably say that if you were a black woman, but you're not. You're Indian and Jamaican. I've said this in past videos. She's Indian and Jamaican. You're not a black woman. You're a colored woman. You're a WOC, but you're not black. But it's too late. They've already stamped her with that. She's a black candidate. That's what got her here. Never mind when she was sworn in as a senator. She was the first Indian American senator. But whatever. You take that mask off, put another mask on, whatever the moment calls for. But this fucking idiot said Tupac. Then Angela Rye tries to cover for her. Oh, well, those Cali girls, they say Tupac lives on. Shut the fuck up. This is what they do. You got to be a damn contortionist, a verbal contortionist to interview these idiots. Because you're going to have to twist and bend to make what they just said not sound like the dumbest shit ever recorded on tape. Tupac, shot and killed, 1996, best rapper alive. Okay. And there was plenty of her, her fucking, that awkward cackle. This shit is so obvious and it is so awkward, man. Everybody knows you're fake as shit. It's obvious. It's like your child trying to tell you a lie. It's painfully obvious and it's hard to watch. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I get a notice for this YouTube video that my daughter's principal did. And it's about kids online looking up and sharing inappropriate material. She said, "We know what you're looking up and what you're sharing. We can see it. We will be calling parents. I've already called some parents. You guys aren't supposed to be doing this. You need to stay on task and not look up inappropriate things and inappropriate words." So basically what that means is they're probably looking at words like shit and fuck, sending it to each other, or nudie pictures, porn, whatever. Now, not particularly directed at her because she's a good principal. I like her. She runs a tight ship. But I'm talking about the powers that be, the people who are allowing our kids to sit in front of a fucking screen all day. It's not good. We all remember the times when we were kids. And at a certain point, your mom or dad would come in the room and turn the TV off. Saturday morning, we have breakfast, watch a little cartoons. Then my mom comes in and turns off the TV. Fuck! That was the worst thing in the world. And you're mad as hell for about 10 minutes till you find something to do outside. But with these kids on these computers with access to the internet, what in the fuck did you think was going to happen? Of course, they're going to be looking up inappropriate images and words. They're kids. They're elementary school kids. The oldest kid on campus, or virtual campus, is like 11. Of course, they're going to do things like this and share things like this with each other. They think it's funny. They still have cooties to each other at this point. Of course. And she said they were looking up inappropriate things on YouTube. Why is YouTube accessible? Is it all or nothing with their Chromebooks? Can you not pick and choose and put settings to block certain things these kids shouldn't be looking at? That has to be possible. All the crazy shit you can do with a computer, of course it has to be possible. Especially when nowadays kids have access to some of the most horrific things ever performed on another human being. They are a few clicks away from a fucking animal orgy. It wasn't like that for us. We had to go old school, magazines. You pass them around with your buddies. You share the new cuss word you learned over the weekend watching action films with your dad. But they have access to much more things, many more things, terrible things, and they shouldn't have access to it. That is yet another reason why these kids need to go back to school. There's shit out there online they should not be seeing. They should not be able to share these things with each other, not during school hours. Now, if you have some parent at home that's asleep at the wheel and their kids passing around porn and cuss words, that's on them. But we shouldn't create opportunities for them to do this during school hours. This shit is ridiculous. Let these kids go back to school. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine the scene when the rulers of California finally allow us lowly taxpayers to send our little children back to school? The first 30 minutes is going to be kids hugging other kids, saying, "I missed you." Hugging their teachers, "I missed you." Man, that is fucked up. Of course these kids are going to be doing that. They're kids. Man, everybody watching this who lives in a free state where your kids can go back to school, I envy you because I wish mine could. My son, he's in preschool. He goes to school, but not my daughter. Sitting in there in front of that damn screen with the blue light glasses on so her eyes don't get all fucked up. Man, please, let me wrap up my state-mandated meal period. The only good thing California gives me, but you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit liberal cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.